Hello everyone, my name is Sikar Rahman and I'm a Level School Foundation level student. So my first question, so today my topic is sorry not sorry how this modern phrase evolved, evolved. What does the phrase sorry not sorry mean?
Wait, are we starting the presentation from the top or you're doing the full intro now?
My first question is what does the phrase sorry not sorry mean?
It's basically the ultimate power move. It's when you acknowledge you did something that might normally need an apology, but you're actually totally fine with it. No regrets.
Where did the phrase sorry not sorry originate?
Let me refresh the memory. It actually popped up online back in 2001, then really took off on social media around 2010
Why has this phrase become popular in modern culture?
because it's just so punchy. It lets people be bold and a little cheeky without needing a long explanation. It's perfect for the fast pace of the internet,
How is sorry not sorry
you
different
know.
from genuine apology?
I'm guessing you mean a genuine apology. One is about taking responsibility and making things right, while sorry, not sorry is more about standing your ground and owning your choices. Total opposite energy.
When people usually use this phrase,
Mostly when they're doing something they love that others might find weird, like owning your obsession with a certain show or eating dessert for dinner. Just total unapologetic confidence.
is sorry not sorry considered polite?
Not even close. It's basically the opposite of polite because it's so provocative. It's more about being bold than being respectful.
What the emotion does this phrase express?
It's a bit of a cocktail of emotions. It can be playful and cheeky, but it can also feel defiant or even arrogant, depending on the vibe of the person saying it.
How has the social media helped spread this phrase?
It's just the perfect hashtag. Social media loves things that are quick, punchy, and a little provocative. It turned the phrase into a shorthand for living your best life and not caring what people think, which is basically the energy of the entire internet.
Why do young people use this phrase frequently?
Mm. I think it's all about that need for independence. It's a way for them to carve out their own identity and say they're okay with being different, even if it doesn't fit the traditional mold.
Can sorry not sorry be considered a sector race?
I think you're asking if it can be considered selfish.
Yes, yes.
Since we're doing the presentation run through, I'll keep it short. Some see it as a lack of regard for others, while others see it as self empowerment. Totally a matter of perspective.
What is the history behind the phrase?
It's a product of the digital age. It started as a sarcastic online joke in the early 2000s and evolved into this cultural anthem for confidence and self pride by the 2010s. It's a complete shift from the traditional way we think about apologizing.
How has the meaning of the phrase changed over time?
It's shifted from a joke to an identity. At first, it was just a way to be sarcastic, but now it's like a badge of honor for people who want to be unapologetically themselves. It's less about the punchline and more about the person.
Is the phrase usually used differently in different countries?
Since it's an English phrase, it's mainly a hit in the US and UK, but because of the internet, you see it everywhere now.
What
In
role
places,
does
honesty and politeness are a huge deal.
what role does humor play
I'm
in
guessing
this phrase?
I think you're asking what role this phrase plays in society.
Yes,
It's
yes.
basically a tool for social boundaries. It lets people define their own terms and say, this is who I am, and I'm not changing for you. It's a way of challenging the status quo and pushing back against the pressure to always fit in.
Why do people use it to show a confidence?
Because it's an instant way to say you're secure in your choices. Instead of explaining why you did something or asking for permission, you just own it. It's a way of signaling that your own approval matters more than everyone else's.
How does this phrase reflect modern communication styles?
It's the perfect example of the short and punchy era. We've moved away from long, formal explanations toward these quick, high impact phrases that convey a whole mood in just 3 words. It's efficient, it's bold, and it's designed to be seen on a screen.
What are some common examples of using sorry, not sorry?
Oh, there's so many. Like posting a picture of your favorite food and saying, I just ate a whole pizza by myself. Sorry, not sorry. Or maybe admitting you're still listening to a song from 10 years ago on repeat. It's always about that little thing that's a bit unconventional, but you love anyway.
Can the praise be of use to some people?
I think you're asking if the phrase can be used in a nice way.
Well,
It can be if it's said with a laugh and a wink. It's more like a playful joke between friends than a serious attack on someone.
is it appropriate to use in professional setting?
Absolutely not. It's way too casual and a bit too defiant for a boss or a client. You'd probably just get a very confused look or a trip to the HR office.
How does it affect the relationships?
It really depends on the delivery. If it's a joke between close friends, it can be funny and bonding. But if you use it during a real argument, it can feel like you're dismissing the other person's feelings, which is a quick way to start a bigger fight.
What does the praise reveal about modern attitudes?
It's a big shift toward individualism. We're moving away from always trying to please everyone and toward this idea that being authentic and owning your quirks is more important than following social rules. It basically shows that modern culture values confidence and personal truth over traditional politeness.
How has internet culture influenced its popularity?
It's the engine that drove the whole thing. Internet culture is all about memes and shorthand, and this phrase is basically a meme in word form. It thrives on the main character energy that social media encourages, where the goal is to stand out and be unapologetic. Without the internet, it would have just been a sarcastic comment in one room, but online it became a global mood
Why is it often used in memes?
because it's the perfect visual shorthand. Memes are all about irony and relatability, and Sorry Not Sorry captures that exact feeling of doing something wrong but loving it. It just fits the format of a funny picture with a punchy caption perfectly.
How do celebrities use this phrase?
They use it as a brand strategy. It's a way for them to lean into their public image, like when they do something controversial or bold, and basically tell the world they're not apologizing for who they are. It turns a potential scandal into a moment of confidence.
What impact has pop culture had on the praise?
It's basically turned the phrase into a global anthem. Pop culture took it from a sarcastic internet joke and put it into songs, movies, and fashion. It gave the phrase a cool factor, making it feel less like a rude comment and more like a lifestyle statement about being unapologetic.
Is it more common online or offline?
Definitely online. It's just so tailored for a caption or a tweet. In real life, it can come across as a bit more aggressive since you don't have an emoji to soften the blow. Does that make sense for the presentation?
How does the tone of voice affect its meaning?
Everything can go from a playful joke to a total shutdown in a second. A little laugh in the voice makes it a prank, but a flat, cold tone makes it a declaration of war. It's
It is
wild
more
how a form
can
of what?
sorry not sorry be improving?
I'm thinking you're asking if it can be used to improve something like a relationship or a situation. Honestly, I'd say it's more likely to make things more tense since it's essentially a refusal to apologize. It doesn't usually build a bridge, it's more about drawing a line in the sand.
Why do some people dislike the
Think.
phrase?
I'm guessing you mean why some people dislike the phrase?
Why do some people
Probably
uh, dislike the phrase?
because it feels dismissive. For a lot of people, it sounds like you're just ignoring their feelings and saying you don't care about the impact of your actions. It can come across as arrogant or just plain rude, especially to people who value traditional manners.
How does it compare to traditional apologize?
It's night and day. Traditional apologies are about humility and repair. You're admitting you messed up to fix a connection. Sorry, not sorry is the total opposite. It's about pride and persistence. One asks for forgiveness, the other basically says, "This is me. Deal with it."
What psychology message does it send?
It sends a message of high self worth, but sometimes at the expense of others. Psychologically, it's all about internal versus external validation. When someone says it, they're signaling that their own opinion of their actions is more important than how the world sees them. It's a move of total autonomy.
Does it injury honesty?
I think you mean, does it encourage honesty?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
a weird way, yeah. It's a very honest expression of how someone actually feels, even if that honesty is a bit blunt or rude. It's basically skipping the fake apology and just being real about not regretting something.
Can it be a form of self-expression? Ca-
I'm glad we can knock that out. Do you feel ready for the actual presentation or do you want to run through any of those parts again?
Can it be a form of self-expression?
Absolutely. It's a way of flagging your quirks and owning them. It's like saying, "This is the real me, and I'm not going to apologize for it just to make other people comfortable."
How do different age groups interpret the phrase?
I think you're asking how different groups of people interpret the phrase, right?
Yeah.
Um, it usually comes down to the generation gap. Younger people might see it as a sign of confidence and authenticity, while older generations might just see it as a lack of respect or poor manners. One group sees a power move, the other sees a problem.
Is it a sign of confidence or organize?
It's both, depending on who's looking at it. To the person saying it, it's a huge sign of confidence and owning their space. but to someone else, it can definitely look like arrogance because it dismisses the other person's perspective. It's that classic tension between being bold and being too much.
How does context change its meaning?
Changes everything. If you're joking with your best friend about eating the last slice of cake, it's a laugh. But if you say it after something that actually hurts someone's feelings, it turns from a joke into a weapon. It's all about whether the situation is lighthearted or serious.
What are the positive aspects of using this phrase?
It's definitely a tool for empowerment. It lets people stop worrying so much about everyone else's expectations and just be themselves. It's basically a way to reclaim your own narrative and feel good about your choices, even the ones that make you an outlier.
What are the negative aspects of using this phrase?
The biggest downside is that it can burn bridges since it's a direct refusal to apologize. It can make you seem cold or uncaring. It's a quick way to make people feel like their feelings don't matter to you, which can definitely damage trust in a relationship.
What has the phrase evolved in the digital age?
It's evolved into a kind of shorthand for the modern ego. In the digital age, it's shifted from just being a sarcastic comment to becoming a way of projecting a specific image, the unapologetic version of yourself. It's designed to be seen, liked, and shared, making it more about a public performance of confidence than a private conversation.
What role does language evolution play in creating a phrase like this?
It's a huge part of it. Language is all about the tension between how we want to be seen and how we actually feel. Phrases like this happen when the old rules of politeness don't fit the new way people want to express themselves. It's basically a linguistic rebellion where the desire to be authentic wins out over the desire to be polite.
Can this phrase a strange than personal identity?
I think you're asking if this phrase can actually change a person's identity, right? I'd say it's more like a mirror than a tool for change. Doesn't necessarily change who you are, but it gives you a way to signal to the world that you're leaning into a certain part of your identity, the part that doesn't care about the rules. It's like a way of practicing being bold until it just feels natural
Why do influencers often use it?
because it's a brand. Influencers live and die by their image, and being unapologetic is a very marketable vibe. It makes them look confident and authentic, which draws people in and it frames any controversy. It's just part of their bold personality instead of a mistake they need to fix.
How does it reflect modern values?
It's a huge shift toward individualism. We're prioritizing personal truth and authenticity over the old social rules of fitting in. It basically says that being yourself, even if it's a bit messy or inconvenient for others, is the most valuable thing you can be.
What lesson can we learn from the popularity of this phrase?
It teaches us that the social contract is shifting. We're moving into a world where the desire to be seen as real and authentic is often more powerful than the desire to be traditionally polite. It's a lesson in how language evolves to match our values, showing that we're more focused on individual identity now than we were a few decades ago.
Cloud the phrase lose a popularity in the future.
It's possible. Language moves fast, and eventually, sorry, not sorry might just feel like an old meme that people stopped using. Once a phrase becomes too common, it loses its edge and becomes a cliche, and the internet usually moves on to something new the second it feels outdated.
What a similar phrase exists in other languages.
That's a tough one because the feeling is so specific. Most languages have ways to be sarcastic or defiant, but this exact unapologetic blend is very internet English. Let's see if there's a direct equivalent. It's not a perfect one to one match in every language, but there are close ones. In Spanish, you could say lo siento, no lo siento, which is a pretty direct translation. In French, sans regrets, without regrets, hits a similar vibe. Most other languages have ways to be defiant, but this specific sarcastic blend is very much an English internet thing. Does that add a good finishing touch to the presentation?
How does this phrase demonstrate the power of language?
It's a perfect example of how language isn't just about words, but about power. It shows that by changing just a couple of words, you can flip the entire meaning of a social interaction. You go from asking for forgiveness to claiming your own space, which proves that whoever controls the language in the room usually controls the dynamic.
Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope this question helped you better understand the phrase sorry, not sorry, and how language continues to evolve in today's words. So, thank you for this watching. Pakistan, Zindabad. Okay, bye bye.